Do you have low testosterone? In this video, you're going to learn low testosterone symptoms as well as the high testosterone symptoms, and you're going to learn where you sit on this spectrum. So, we're going to first begin with low testosterone. What are the symptoms? Well, as you can see, this is how your body will be shaped. Typically, this is the skinny fat ratio. This means that you have lower muscle mass, lower bone density. As you can see, you can usually tell with your wrists if your fingers can go around through. That is not necessarily indicative on your bone mass, but if you compare it to other people's bone masses, for example, for me, myself, I have a higher bone mass, and this is because I've trained combat sports, of course, when you have Wolff's Law and more forces hitting you, but also testosterone will help you increase your bone density. So your endurance actually goes down as well when you have low testosterone. You are shaped with a skinny fat body. This is funny. All right. Anyways, you also have a lower body hair, and the main parts where your androgen receptors are located, like your chest, your delts, they will be much smaller because you don't have testosterone to stimulate the androgen receptors. You may have actually a pretty good head of hair because when you have high levels of testosterone, typically if you are genetically prone to having male pattern baldness, as in having high levels of dihydrotestosterone, DHT, essentially what that means is that testosterone undergoes 5-alpha reductase, like it's converted into dihydrotestosterone via 5-alpha reductase, and a lot of people, not a lot of people, but not me for certain, have this genetic where if they have higher levels of dihydrotestosterone, they will go bald. But decreased body hair in general if your testosterone is lower. The other thing is gynecomastia. Now, this might happen with a lot of young men when they're younger, and this is just a part of the natural growing up process, and it actually happens to about 50% of young men. Essentially what this is that it is breast tissue formation. I actually have this. When I was younger, I had terrible hormones, terrible testosterone. I had so much cortisol. I was just stressed all the time based on also having just natural factors in my life. And I did not know how to cope with the stress. Now, because cortisol competes for cholesterol and indirectly makes testosterone go lower if you have higher stress levels for prolonged periods of time, you will have lower testosterone, and of course, you will have higher estrogen. Higher estrogen will make it so that you end up having more breast tissue formation. They'll probably have a picture up on screen what that looks like. It doesn't actually affect how you move in the world or your testosterone levels really all that much in the future. Anyways, that's gynecomastia. Decreased social engagement will be as a result of your mood. Decreased testosterone causes your mood to get worse. You have lower libido as well. You essentially have a lower fire within, a dimmer fire within. Less concentration, less motivation, and while we should not rely on motivation, less testosterone in science typically will also make it so that you are less disciplined, less able to have the self-confidence to follow through with yourself and trust your own direction. You might make mistakes, and instead of continuing on, you will focus on those mistakes, and then you will end up in a spiral. And then this will further imply the meaning that you attribute to yourself of not being a high performer, not having high testosterone, not being confident within yourself. Again, decreased social engagement. You also have actually lower sex drive, so you won't actually have the desire to talk to women or to have women in your life, which is really sad because women can offer just love and good companionship, and that's wonderful. And it's really sad to miss out on that. When I was younger and I had these lower mood swings, I had like a lot of mood swings and a lot of problems when it came to just having relationships in general and just speaking to people. I was practically mute. I did not, like I said, speak to anybody. I was very much alone by myself, very isolated, but I caused that. The truth is I could have spoken to anybody at any moment, and that could have snowballed into becoming very more much social, I guess you could say. Yeah, and that's what happened when I started working on myself much more, and it ended up being a snowball effect of I guess you could say, a positive feedback. Here we have high testosterone symptoms. Now, as you can see, muscle strength, muscle size, and endurance, explosiveness, of course. So basically you can jump really high, I guess you could say. I mean, it's not always, but you can sprint, let's say. You can move very quickly if you decide to move very quickly. Of course, this kind of dims down with age because your body just isn't as responsive, but you will have muscle strength, explosiveness, and size, as well as your bone density. Your bones will be much more dense, and that's pretty cool. You won't end up breaking bones as easily. The other thing is that you will have a very much increased appetite. You will be very, very hungry, and that's basically so your body wants to have more nutrition, wants to be able to build itself larger, it wants to be bigger. Also, increased hair. You will have more hair around your body. The other thing is that if you are prone to male pattern baldness, then your testosterone might become, dihydrotestosterone, and you could get bald if you are prone to that kind of stuff. Other thing, highs and lows. You will have intense episodes of euphoria if you're not used to this. If you have high testosterone and you're natural, your testosterone will go through the ebbs and flows of life. You might have terrible sleep one day. You might go through some terrible circumstances. You might have just bad life circumstances. The thing is that with these natural highs and lows, you will feel the lows a lot. But this is kind of contradictory because usually if you think of a high testosterone male, you might think they are kind of nonchalant or something like that. They might not have everything that pushes them a lot. And you also might think they might be very aggressive. You think of roid rage, people who take steroids and they're friggin' mad all the time. Well, aside from high testosterone giving you a better mood, it can also, of course, make you more assertive, aggressive, and more dominant, especially more competitive as well in those kinds of situations. The thing is that with these highs and lows, because you are more confident in yourself and essentially having all the opposites of these, better mood, better concentration, better sex drive, all of these things, more confidence, and I guess more motivation, but also the self-discipline to do the actions you set out to do, the self-mastery. With these highs and lows, you're gonna go through so much that just shit doesn't bother you as much anymore. It's like if you get hit a lot in the face, it's just whatever. You got hit a lot in the face. It's just a normal thing. Anyways, so essentially you're gonna be chasing your life, chasing your dreams. You're going to end up going up, and that's because you have a higher fire within. You have this drive, this tenacious desire to improve, to get stronger, to get better. And it feels so much better than having in this dim little spot where you feel like your body sucks, you feel like you're not strong, you're not confident, you can't talk to people. It's tough. And I've been there, and it sucks. But having this increased muscle mass, explosiveness, of course, you end up getting that greater charisma when it comes to talking to people. Girls start to notice you because you have a greater presence within the world. And also, you make better friends because you're more social. So those are the highs and lows of life. Assertiveness, aggression. Aggression can be used for good. And having high testosterone or having low testosterone is no excuse for treating others poorly. You must always treat others correctly, greatly, as best you can. Anyways, those are the symptoms of low testosterone, symptoms of high testosterone. And if you would like to optimize your hormones, because hormones, hormonal health in general, is not just testosterone. It also comes, if you don't want to bald, you need to optimize your testosterone, not necessarily having it maxing, not test maxing, but test optimization, hormonal optimization. Check the first link in the description below. And I hope you like this new format. I just got a new whiteboard or blackboard, and I like it. It's pretty sick. Yeah, see you, man.